Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Princeton, where in our open and welcoming community, we live our message of hope, love, justice, and joy. It's wonderful to be together this morning, and we extend a special welcome to our visitors. We're very happy that you've joined us. And if you haven't already, stop by the newcomer table just outside those back doors in Robinson Lounge. We invite you to do so after the service so that we can put you on our e-lists and you can know about all the different things that we have coming up here at UU Princeton. Most of that is in happenings in the back of your order of service, but there are a few things that we'll point out. The first is that tomorrow, Monday, July 8th at 7:30, we are invited to join community members in the 4th annual reading of an amended version of Frederick Douglass's speech, "What to a Slave is the 4th of July." This was originally given on July 5th, 1852. The Princeton Library hosts this event and it's Zoom only. So you go to their website and register for the Zoom link, or you can come here at 7:30 tomorrow night. There'll be a group hosted by our Racial Justice Ministry. We'll pull down the screen and files. We'll watch it on the screen and there'll be some snacks and things like that. So either go to the library website and register for it, or even better, come here tomorrow at 7:30 and watch it with the Racial Justice Ministry. And our Racial Justice Ministry is one of the many groups participating in that reading of the speech tomorrow. Also, Fellowship Night is back Saturday, July 13th at 6 p.m. in the Founders Room. This will be the 3rd Fellowship game night. You can bring your favorite board or card games and get ready to play. You'll spend time with old friends and make some new ones. Pizza will be provided. The event is free, but we do ask you to register on the website. Go to the Sign Up Genius page so that we know how much pizza to order for this. This is next Saturday, July 13th, 6 p.m. in Founders Room. And now let us be together for this hour to remember peace, to praise the good, to care for one another, and to grow in love. Come, let us worship together.
We come from many places along different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories and different realities, and yet we come together as one people with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we find others who are much like us and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories, with many voices, but always one people, working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace. By Pat Arube Lichte.
Our meditation this morning is by Nancy Wood. I invite you to join in the spirit of meditation. My help is in the mountains, where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people have given me. I find a rock with sun on it and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which one by one give me company. So must I stay for a long time until I have grown from the rock and the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me. And here in the shared silence, we offer these, the prayers and meditations of our hearts. And may the light of love ease every sorrow and illuminate every joy this day and always. Amen. I don't want you to worry. Our worship associate program isn't going anywhere. It's hard to schedule them in the summer sometimes, though. So every once in a while, we won't have an associate. Although I realized this morning, 3 of our associates are about to sing, and 1 more is teaching our kids about music in the program. So everyone's busy too. It's not just leaving town, just busy, but it's not going anywhere. I don't want you to worry about it. So we have readings this morning instead. The first one is a poem titled The Invention of Fractions by Jessica Goodfellow. The Invention of Fractions. God created the whole numbers, the firstborn, the 7th seal, 10 commandments etched in stone, the 12 tribes of Israel, 10 we've already lost, 40 days and 40 nights, Saul's 10,000 and David's 10,000, be of one mind and one heart, the whole numbers, the counting numbers. It took humankind to need less than this, to invent fractions, percentages, decimals. Only humankind could need the concepts of splintering and dividing, of things lost or broken, of settling for the part instead of the whole. Only humankind could find the whole numbers, infinite as they are, to be wanting. Though given a limitless supply, we still had no way to measure what we keep in our many-chambered hearts. And our second reading is Human Family by Maya Angelou, another poem. I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, while others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones can confuse, bemuse, and delight. Brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, but I've not seen any 2 who really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China, we weep on England's moors, we laugh and moan in Guinea and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we're the same. I note the obvious difference between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. And there ends our readings. There was once a tree in a beautiful garden from which drew the fullest apples anyone had ever seen. They were large and bright red and fragrant with the smell of sunshine. They were beautiful apples and looked very tasty, and the tree that produced them was large and strong and majestic. An elephant came upon the tree and immediately declared that the tree was hers. The elephant was strong and loud and trumpeted her sense of ownership throughout the land so that everyone would know that the apple tree belonged to her. However, a monkey came swinging down from one of the branches to say that he had discovered the tree a long time ago. He had been eating those apples for weeks, and so the tree belonged to him, not the elephant. A rabbit overheard this agreement and popped out of her home in the trunk of the tree to say that not only had she been nibbling on the leaves of that tree for months, she lived there. Before it even produced big, beautiful apples, the rabbit was there, and so she claimed the tree as hers. A bird listening from the very top of the tree swooped down to say, I hate to burst your bubble, but I spit out the seed that grew this tree years ago. I planted this tree, it's mine. The 4 animals faced each other with tension and resentment. Each had a claim to the tree, and each was ready to defend their claim. The elephant was the strongest, but the monkey was evasive, the rabbit was very fast, and the bird could fly. And so each considered how they could outwit, outlast, and outmuscle the others so that the tree would end up being theirs. Just then, the clouds turned dark, and the winds picked up. A heavy rain started falling. The rain turned to hail and began pelting and hurting each animal. They found themselves huddling closer to the tree, finding protection under the leaves. Indeed, they kept moving closer and closer until they were really more huddled with each other. Each animal was entwined with the others, all seeking the shelter of the tree and each other from the storm. The elephant tucked her trunk around the monkey, who wrapped his arm around the rabbit, who shielded the bird's wings beneath her belly. From the ground, the bird shouted to the elephant that the cover was thicker on the other side of the tree, and so they all shifted over there so that the elephant too would be more protected from the storm. And the four animals waited out the storm in each other's embrace, finding safety in each other's arms and offering safety to one another. When the storm finally passed, they faced each other again, this time with love. They honored the bird who was the elder of the group as she had planted the tree. They honored the rabbit who could have eaten the tree to death when it was small, but instead only took what she needed so that the tree could live and nourish those to come. They honored the monkey who was always careful to swing on the strong branches and not harm the tree. And they honored the elephant, the newest and youngest among them, who sheltered others during a storm, replacing her own bluster with compassion. Each had really replaced bluster with compassion. Each had replaced a sense of selfishness with a concern for others, a claim of possession with an ethic of sharing, and competition with cooperation. Each had replaced I with we, and together they lived through the storm into days of harmony and sustenance and interdependence. You'll find the bare bones of this story in the Buddhist tradition. I've added the storm because often life feels pretty stormy, often unpredictably so. Indeed, when I was thinking about Independence Day themed services a few months ago, I remember thinking how things would probably be pretty slow in electoral politics right now. We'll know who the major presidential candidates are. There'll be campaigning and fundraising and coverage, but the dog days of an electoral summer are usually slower when there's no real contest and everyone is gearing up for a stressful electoral fall. I remember thinking, though much will be reported, there won't really be much going on. I was wrong about that. There's quite a bit going on. Very stormy days for many, and quite unexpectedly so. So you won't find the storm in the old Buddhist story, but you will find the four animals making claim to the same tree and finding a way to live in harmony and peace. The ancient ones told this story so that people would value interdependence and cooperation. There was conflict among the animals, as there usually is among people, but the critters found peace by working together through a time of crisis, by sheltering one another from a dangerous storm. The ancient ones wanted their people to do that too. The ancient ones also wanted to teach about different aspects of the self and how we can war not only with others, but within. The elephant could represent the body, the monkey was usually the mind, the rabbit, emotions, and the bird, the soul. The soul is the oldest, the body is the youngest, and the mind and emotions are mixed in there as well. And the four compete and cooperate within our beings. There is a hierarchy. The soul is the elder, the wisest, the one of most honor, but all four have power and can use it to serve their own interests or group interests. Within the self and within the group, we can be as disconnected pieces or connected parts of one whole. We can be of I or of us. We can declare the tree in our lives to be my space or our space. Today, the ancients would tell the exact same story, hoping that we'd learn the exact same things. They would see the conflicts that we foster and allow and call us to account. They would move us from I to we and from me to us. In this, our many beings would become one body, and the gifts of that body are always greater than the pieces. Modern theologians would agree. Process relational theology is a school that sees existence as a never-ending, growing stream in which entities merge again and again and again. This happens on every scale of size imaginable in ever-fluid and evolving states. It's metaphorical and much less material in its approach. And when things merge, something new is formed, like a marriage in which two are joined and create, as Robert Bly poetically described, a third body. That poem, after describing two people in love, living and growing together, includes these lines. They obey a third body that they share in common. They have promised to love that body. Age may come, parting may come, death will come. As they breathe, they feed someone we do not know, someone we know of whom we have never seen. And he's not talking about a baby, although that kind of works as well. He's talking about the new thing that is created in the marriage, the new thing that he calls a body, but he really doesn't mean a physical body. It's more of a presence that comes from two independent beings that is dependent on those beings, just like a friendship or a work partnership or a school group project or even the daily interactions that we have at the store or the doctor's office. All those create these third bodies through even these quick blips of relationality. Those ones are just usually not as important as the ones created in a marriage, although they are important. I found out that the woman who cuts my hair left recently, and I have no idea where she went, and I was made a little frustrated by the sudden absence of that third body. And I don't even care very much about my haircut. There's never been much to it. And as I get older, there's definitely less and less to it. I just liked how she did it. And now that that third body is gone, and I have to get who I get until I find someone I prefer. Each interaction, like this and more important ones, creates through relationship something new, however brief, however unremarkable, even however forgotten or never noticed to begin with. Reality is this dynamic, constant process in which beings and entities merge in known and unknown states, creating different kinds of unity. Sometimes this is just called process philosophy when it focuses on metaphysics and how the entities are merging. But when it focuses on relationship, it tends to be more theological. And God, for those who see God in this system, is thought of as the force that draws us toward these always increasing states of unity. God is that which draws us toward others. And then religion is about articulating the ways that we create that healthy, just, and generous kinds of unity that we imagine serves the holy. For the unity itself is kind of neutral. All sorts of groups that do awful things do them out of a sense of unity. Religion should provide the moral guidance to make the unity serve the holy and all of creation. And that's the obviously hotly contested ground. The father of process, a 20th century mathematician named Alfred North Whitehead, summed up this school by saying, "The many become one and are increased by one." He was highly influential in the scientifically minded strands of liberal theology that would greatly influence modern Unitarian Universalist thought, especially around concepts of interdependence and relationality and unity. Additionally, the social ethics that come out of this school stress creating more and more opportunities for those with less without infringing upon anyone's freedom to choose. So social ethics, or in our case, we might be able to make the jump to social justice, is about increasing options, not making choices for other people. The former serves freedom, the latter debilitates it. We often aspire to this kind of justice making in our faith for this very same ethic. And process's other major presence in our faith is what we make of the diversity in our pursuit of a healthy and holy unity. For diversity can serve holy unity, which would look more like a beloved community, or diversity can lead to divisiveness and judgment and cruelty. Process, because it is so dynamic, sees diversity as an elemental quality of reality. You can't avoid it even if you wanted to. And so the right thing to do is embrace it and learn from it and count on it to create a more dynamic and resilient world. Whitehead even considered this to be the definition of beauty. Beauty is unity coming from diversity. Beauty is unity which comes from diversity. Or, as our nation's motto, E Pluribus Unum, puts it, out of many one, and adding process theology, that resulting one is made more beautiful through diversity. And the process never ends as long as the nation lives. It is ongoing, dynamic, and evolving. The nation's motto is a lived motto, never lived perfectly, and certainly lived better in some eras than others. And while this process happens no matter what, we can inform how it happens through our choices and how we live our values. We can make unity healthier by seeking diversity and respecting differences, practicing civility. We can be neighbors to strangers and listen with an open mind and share our experiences in order to seek a common ground and common values. Though toxicity fills the airwaves and social media pages, we can, with confidence, practice values that expect and do not fear diversity, but instead see in the other another divine manifestation of a life so much greater than us. We can see and affirm in them not an enemy, but someone with whom we are already one in some way. We are already in some state of unity, even with the briefest blow-up response to a tweet, even if that's only an internal response. That's the price of unity. If we are one, we are really one with everyone. And thus life is full of chances to, through our freedom and agency, be a faithful voice of the values we share, a voice that loves diversity and respects differences and values civility, a voice that casts a wide E Pluribus Unum net, certainly wider than most of the silos who we profit with clicks and views and comments, certainly wider than the confines of politics and media, for it is as wide as our faith. We can cast a net as wide as love and as strong as freedom and as universal as dignity. We can cast a net together to bless far and wide with these qualities and others, so that the unity we build challenges the toxicities of the campaign that is and is to come. Our presence, our voice can serve something larger than that which divides us, and can instead build a greater sense of holy unity that will bless those to come even in times of disagreement. This is the ethic to take into these months to come, one of healthy and holy engagement that builds a better kind of unity. It is not to shrink and not to shriek, but to build, through quick or lasting relationship, a sense of the common good. It's to articulate our values and dreams and hopes and prayers in ways that don't assume the worst in anyone, but instead assume that we are more alike than unalike, that we live on the same earth, breathe the same air, and seek the shelter of the same great tree when the storms threaten us today and tomorrow. And to know that these storms, they may be new to us, but they're not new. They're as old as people are. In the Buddhist mind, they're as old as animals and trees. Storms are nothing new, and they can be frightening and even deadly, but comfort can be found with one another, and greater safety, and a more abundant tomorrow can be built living in each other's care right now, in our hearts embracing the stranger, in our minds remembering that they too are loved, and with our bodies serving all we can, everyone we can, so that we may become one in life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. May it be so, and amen. At the end of our hour, we extinguish our chalice, knowing that its light carries us until we gather again. Go forth grateful for the moments before you, the breath within you, the people among you, and the Spirit guiding you toward lives of love and kindness. And go forth knowing that you are held always and always with everyone else by that great love of no beginning and never ending. Go in peace, and amen.